I've been living off e-commerce for almost 6 months now, and it's completely changed my life. And I'm making this video for you who might be in my shoes when I was starting out, because I know this will give you nothing but hope and inspiration, and maybe just that little bit of hope that you need to push you over the edge to realize that this is possible, even for you. And in this video, I'm gonna talk to you about every step that I took, my entire journey here, when I quit my job, the niches I've been in, the formats I've done, the ups and downs, what it really means to be an entrepreneur on full time and not just having as a hobby, and what it really means to transfer that kind of side hustle into an actual business that has intrinsic value and that will give you money for the future to come. So buckle up, because I'm gonna tell you a story about a kid who lost his parents at 15, been called an orphan in his entire life, and wasn't really dealt the best cards. You might relate to that. So let me show you why it's actually possible. So for me, it started about 4 or 5 years ago when I was an apprentice at a car mechanic workshop, and I was just 19 years old. I had lived on my own for a couple of years then, but I got my first actual apprenticeship, my first actual job. I was kind of getting into this 9 to 5 life. And let me paint you a picture of how my life looked back then. I was waking up at 5:30 because I had to be at work at 6. Then I would work the entire day, and then I would be home at about 3 or 4. Usually 4, sometimes 3, depends on what day it was. And as soon as I would come home, I would go to my computer, I would play video games, I would kind of feel a little bit sad, then I would order some junk food, I would eat that junk food, and then I would go to bed, and then I would wake up again. And that is my entire cycle, and it was for probably about 5 or 6, maybe 7 months, I don't really remember. But a long time, enough that I got tired of it. And this life of mine was so lonely. I had no people around me, I had no real friends, I had no joy in my life, I had no fulfillment, I had no love. Most importantly, I had no God. I was genuinely unhappy, and I was what you would call depressed. And this was my entire life until one day it just kind of snapped for me. I just said, no, I cannot do this anymore. I couldn't do it. And so I woke up, I went to work, and I knew when I walked through those doors in the morning, this would be my last day, right? So it was about 3:30 that day at work, and my boss came to me and he asked me, why haven't you gone home yet? And I looked at him, and I completely broke down in tears. I completely broke down. I have never broken down that way ever, but I broke down in tears, and I said, I can't do this anymore. I cannot force myself to keep doing this one more day. This is not me. I can't do this for a living. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. And luckily, I had a very understanding boss, and he said, it's all right. Go home. We'll figure it out when you get home. Don't need to come in tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Right? And so I went home, and I was just like completely broken, but I was in a way so relieved, because it was like, okay, I'm out of it, right? I'm out of it. But now I have a apartment that needs to have its rent paid, and I have bills, and I have food, and I have all these things, but I have no job. And I was like, what am I gonna do, right? So I decided to kind of go back to where I came from, and I decided to move back to my hometown. So I canceled my rental lease for the apartment, and I went back to live in a very, very, very cheap apartment back where I grew up. And that's when I did the most unique, most intellectual thing that anyone could ever done. And I typed on Google how to make money online, because I knew I was never gonna be like, I couldn't have a normal job. I don't know why, but I just couldn't. It just didn't fit me. I can't do it, right? Every time I've tried to have a job, I would quit after like maximum a year. The longest I've had a normal job is like 11 months. I've never had a job over a year, ever. Right? So I just knew I cannot do this. I can't do it. And so I started just researching, and there was a million types of business models popping up in my face. There was SMMA, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, start a YouTube channel, right? Short form editor, YouTube automation, all these crazy things, right? There's a million things. But I actually decided to stop on a thing called Amazon FBA. And I'm sure you guys know about it, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. But it's basically e-commerce, right? You're selling things on Amazon. But in Amazon, you have to order in bulk, where you can't really do that with dropshipping and stuff. So it's more like real products, real brands, stuff like that. And I kind of like that idea. So I bought this course with some of the last money that I had. I think it was about $1,000 or something like that. I still have like all the books and stuff you got with it, but I bought this course and I researched and I researched and I researched and I researched and I kept researching all about this marketing, how to order in bulk, how to talk to suppliers, how to do product research, all these softwares that I need to pay for. And I just started spending so much money and I was only researching. And that's the exact problem. I was falling into this trap called paralysis or analysis paralysis, I'm pretty sure it's called, where you're just like kind of analyzing everything, but you're not really doing anything. So that's what I was doing. I was just researching, but I wasn't doing anything, right? Because I was kind of scared to take that last step over the edge and like actually do it, because but I'm not sure this is the right product, and what about this, and and there's just so many things, right? And ultimately, when I'm looking back at it, I had no money to do this. I don't know why I started this, because in Amazon you have to order in bulk, which means I had to probably order like 500 units of some products, and then I had to market those products, and hopefully I would get a sale from that. Like, it's not Amazon is not something that you can just do without having some capital. Like, if you're gonna start an actual Amazon FBA business, it's very possible, but I think you should have at least like $5,000 or euros, whatever, in store that you are able to use on only this one thing. And I didn't have that, but I did it anyway, and it was kind of stupid, but it kind of got me into that world, right, of doing online business, all this stuff. And at the time that I was doing all this research and stuff, I probably did that for over a year, and I was just working in some grocery store part-time, just paying my bills and rents and the stuff on the side. But I spent probably a year just researching and not really doing anything that I should have done. I wasn't really progressing at all. And so I kind of spent that year on nothing. I mean, I was researching, yeah, I got some decent information out of it, but nothing actual, And so that kind of, that hope, that drive, that like, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. This is going to be so easy, so simple. That feeling that you have when you first discover all this online business, SMMA, dropshipping. It's the best feeling in the world, right? Because it just tells you, everyone tells you, it's super simple. You can do this in 30 days, all this stuff. And you can just be super ultra rich and you have 6 Lambos out back. But that's not really the, that's not really the reality. And I think everyone knows that when they hear it, but it just feels so good to just hear that. And I jumped in with both feet. I completely got trapped in that, like that kind of scenario, that it was going to be so easy. And that hope just really quickly faded away. And I was like, damn, I didn't make it, right? And so slowly I gave up, and I kind of tried to move on. And I just wanted to get away from it, because now I was kind of getting depressed again, and I was going out again. I was accidentally doing drugs here and there, It was just so bad. And I got back into this rut that I was in. And so I took a job on a cruise ship to get away, right? Because on this cruise ship I had to be there for like 14 days, and then I had to be home a couple days, and then out of 14 days again. So I didn't have any possibilities to do anything. So I went on this cruise ship, and I just worked there for about like 10 months or something like that. And some time passed. I probably worked about 2-3 other jobs after this. It's probably about 2 years after this cruise ship thing, where I moved in with my girlfriend, who I met at the time that I was also working on the cruise ship. And this is where I live right now, actually, with my girlfriend here in this apartment. And we moved here, and we moved very far away, both me and my girlfriends. We live far away from anything that we've known. And that means that we have no people to rely on. We don't know anyone here. We have no friends here. But it also means that I now have a new rent. I have a new job to have, because we have to pay the rent and all this stuff. And I have to pay a little bit more now, because we live in a little bit more expensive place, because we're 2 people. We have more food to pay. My girlfriend is studying, so she doesn't get a lot of money that way, which means I had to go get a new job. And I had no real problem getting jobs, because I have had a lot of jobs. So it's very easy for me to get a normal job, but I just can't be in it. I don't want to be in it. It doesn't like fit with me in my like mental state, right? And so I had 3 jobs lined up for me, and I took one of them. And about 3 days before I had to start, something just like kind of washed over me, like some feeling just it was just in me. And I just thought to myself, no, I can't keep going. I can't keep going in this like evil circle anymore of just new job, new job, new job, not being happy, new job, new job. Like I couldn't do it anymore. I just, no. I mean, you know, I had that old feeling again, was like, I can't do this anymore. But I also knew this time has to be different. This time has to be different. I have to do something different than last time. I have to, you know, take action on what I'm actually doing. And so I did something that is probably really, really stupid, which is quitting the only job that I kind of had then, which is the job that I was about to start. I called them up and I said, hey, I just started my own company and I'm now making money that I can live off, so I'm not going to be able to start at your position anyway. And they're like, okay, fine, whatever, see ya. And that was a complete lie. That was a complete lie. Like, I did not have a business. I did not make money from a business. But it was necessary for me to hear myself say that, because I know that now I have bills to pay. I have about 2 months of savings, and that is it. I'm completely done after that. So I was like, I have to make this work now. There is no way I'm not gonna make this work. This is my only chance. And so when I genuinely realized that, I went to work. And this time I had to set on a new business model, because I know Amazon FBA, I didn't have enough capital for it. But I kind of knew some things because of it, right? So I put up 3 things that I could do. I had SMMA, I had a YouTube channel, and then I had dropshipping. So either of these 3, I was gonna have to start. SMMA, I felt like wasn't really me. I can't really see myself advertising for these real businesses when I have 0 experience. I never tried it, and it's just not me. I didn't really feel like that was something I wanted to do. A YouTube channel really excited me. I really wanted to start a YouTube channel because that's super cool, and I like recording, and I like editing videos, and I like having cameras and all this stuff. So that really excited me. But I also didn't really have experience in anything. I wasn't really good at anything, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to develop something and monetize it before those 2 months that I have of savings, because I need revenue now. I need profits now, because I have to pay rent soon, right? So that was also off the table. So the only thing that was left for me that I think I can make this work fairly quickly was dropshipping. Now, yes, you need some capital to make dropshipping, but I had about, I think I set off about like $1,500 for like ads, and that's like kind of what I had. And then I had 1 month extra of savings, and I had $1,500 for ads, and I just need to make this work. I have 1 month to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And that same day, I just went to work. I didn't buy a course. I just tried to find everything I could, like on YouTube or on Google, just researching on my own. But this time I wanted the system in place. I wanted to know that every time I learned something, I would put it into action. So that was my step. Every time I learned something, I would put it into action immediately. So the first thing that you do when you want to start dropshipping is you want to find a product. So I product researched. I'd kind of learned a little bit from the Amazon thing. So I kind of knew what to look for. So I just started to product research a bunch. I think I spent like 2 days on it. I had a massive spreadsheet with like 30 products on it that was like sort of viable, right? So as soon as I had my products, took 2 days. Okay, good. I have 1 product now. Now what's the next step, right? That's to build the page. Boom, build the page. I got the logo, the brand, everything like that. Boom, done. Now, what do I need to learn now? Okay, I need to learn how to kind of set up this marketing on Meta ads or TikTok ads or whatever. Good, I learned that and I did it. Boom, done. Now to actually make the ads itself. And this was, I was told to do this by, kind of recycling content from other people who has sold the same product. So I was doing that. Boom, done. I launched the ads, put them on like kind of a medium budget. I think it was like 20-30 bucks a day just to get the data to learn a lot. But no sales. I was terrible stats on the ad metrics, no sales, no visitors, no nothing. So this time I didn't give up though. I was like, okay, that's fine. I have a lot of other products. So I just took a new product in, did the same thing, nothing. Took a new product in, did the same thing, nothing. New product, nothing. New product, nothing. New product, nothing. And I did this for about 13 products, 0 sales. I've spent probably about like $600. I don't really have that much left now. I spent a lot of money on softwares and ads and I don't know what. And I was like, damn. But the 14th product was the one that got me my first sale. It was a collagen face mask. And I started, put that on my page, made it super girly, branded it, started using, to do the ads. I was running ads on TikTok at this time. So I was just running ads on TikTok to Germany, I think, because that has like a very large base of people. And lo and behold, that night I got my first 2 sales and I woke up and I was like, hell yeah, this is it, right? And the next day I had 3 sales. I was like, oh, this is good, right? Now we have 5 sales. But the next day again, 0 sales. And the next day again, 0 sales. And the next day again, 0 sales. And it was completely dead. And at this point I had spent probably about $100 on ad spend, and I had gained not a lot, like 40, 50, something like that. So I didn't really gain anything. I lost profits. And so this was super, super bad. And so I tried with a new product. And again, a couple of sales, but no profits, right? So at this point I'd spent almost all my money on these ads. And I was like, I have like 1 or 2 tries left, or I'm out of money. And I'm also out of capital to pay my rent. And I'm gonna have to work an entire month in a normal job to pay my rent. So at this point I was like, I'm screwed, right? I messed up. What am I gonna do? And throughout this kind of dropshipping journey, I did post videos on a TikTok channel where I just posted a lot of what I was doing with the dropshipping, making like a daily video on what I'm learning, how much sales I've gotten, and all this stuff. And it had accumulated about 100 followers or so. Wasn't anything too big, like probably like 300, 400 views per video, right? So nothing crazy at all. But one guy saw the videos and he shot me a DM, and he said to me something along the lines of, hey man, I like your videos, it looks like you're a hard worker, I would love to have a call with you sometime, I think I have an opportunity for you. So this kind of first got me thinking, this guy's this guy's like a scammer or something, right? And I set up the call with him, and it turns out this guy, he's an entrepreneur from Finland, and he has his own e-com company, and he has some other company, a marketing company, all this stuff. So he's like sort of successful in this online business space. He was definitely making money, right? So that's much better than me. So, you know, I just shut up and I listened to everything that I could. And he told me that you have an eye for making videos. I think I have a good opportunity for you. So he wanted to expand his brand in Finland to other Scandinavian countries. And me being from Denmark, that was a perfect fit for me, because Finland and Denmark has sort of the same type of culture. And so that was, you know, perfect. And I was like, yes, please, yes. And I said yes to that opportunity. And we started going to work, right? We started making Danish labels for the products. We made the store. Everything was sort of ready. As soon as I got the products with the Danish names on it, not in bulk, I just got a couple so that I could start making videos and content. So I got the videos, I got the content, and I just started making a lot of TikTok videos, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Instagram videos. I was just pumping out content for this brand. And that got really, really well received, right? We grew to about 1,000 followers in a week on that TikTok, or I did, on that TikTok page. And a lot of people was really hyped for it. And I got probably, I think it was like 400 or 500 people on the sign-up list on the email. And it was really successful. And we launched the product and everything was super good and everything went super well. And we did, I think it was like $2,400 in the first day. It was absolutely insane. I was like, I've never seen this much money coming in from my own in one day, right? That's insane. So we just kept going. I kept posting videos. I just kept working. I kept working. And it was really well. And that month, which was July, which is 6 months ago, like next week is 6 months ago. And that video, or that month, generated us, I think it was about, just about like $14,000 or $15,000. It was insane. And since we were making the products ourselves, these guys from Finland wasn't dropshipping. They were making the products themselves, which is wildly impressive to me. But we had a very, very, very high profit margin because of this. So a lot of the money that we made, actually we got to keep, which was great, because that was such an like relief for me, because now I had like 2 or 3 months extra of like of reserves. So I was like, I did it. I actually freaking did it. And I was just so overwhelmed with happiness. I was grateful. I was like, oh my god, this is unreal, right? That feeling of like, holy moly, we actually did it. It actually worked, right? Because I kept pushing myself. And I just like, we need to make this happen. I do not recommend that you quit your job though, before you kind of have income already. And I will get to that point just in a second. And why I kind of regret that. But for now, I was just so unbelievably happy because we actually made it, right? I found something that works, and I have someone to do it with. And it's very important to do something with someone if you have someone to do it with. That's a huge upside, because 2 brains are way better than 1. And from July till now, we've made over, I think it's about $63,000 in revenue. And so what you might have understood with those like calculations is that, well, there has to be some months that you haven't done that well. And yes, the first month was the best month to this day even. And that's what I want to come into now, because being a full-time entrepreneur, you got a lot of questions asked, such as like, is it stressful? Are you rich yet? How much money do you make? Where is your 17 Lambos, right? All this stuff. Being a full-time entrepreneur is not really what you think. It's kind of like having a job, but it's like you having to be the boss of that job, but also being the employer, right? You have to kind of set up a system as to when you work, when you don't work, what you work on when you work, and then you also have to follow that like you are following you are following it to a boss, right? Because otherwise you're gonna fall into this like cycle of, well, I've made a lot of money, so I don't need to work anymore. And then you kind of, all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I have no money. And then you work again, right? And then you're like, oh, now I have a lot of money. And then you're falling down to this like rut again. Exactly what happened to me, by the way. Which is what I want to talk about. Because I quit my job, I had no backups, right? And so I just was like, damn, we're making so much money. And I kind of started, chilling back a little bit. I started playing a little more video games here and there again. I started not going to the gym as much. I was just chilling, right? Because now I had some money. It's great. Everything's great. But what happened then is that the revenue didn't just drop instantly, but the profit margins dropped because I wasn't making new content, we were recycling, and the profit margins on the ads and stuff kind of went lower and lower, and it wasn't really that good anymore. But I didn't really realize it until payday came, right? I was like, oh shit, I have not a lot of money now. That's not good. And I kind of went into this like, oh shit, now I'm kind of scared again, and now I have to like really make this work right now, otherwise I can't pay my rent. And that exactly happened to me like 2 months ago. And last month I only made like $400, which is insane from what I made like 3 months prior to that, right? And so because of that, I kind of got that like wake up call, like, oh my god, being a full-time entrepreneur is kind of like, you have so much more responsibility. It's very, very important to keep that in mind. You are the sole reliable like source of everything that happens. The only person who decides what happens is you, and you have every single responsibility in the entire business. And that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, and you need to be ready for that when you want to start a business. So that's really the only thing I can say to when people ask me, what is it like being a full-time entrepreneur? It can be stressful if you don't put systems in place. If you put systems in place, everything will be fine and you have a huge upside. But if you don't put systems in place, and if you don't follow some sort of structure, it's gonna completely destroy you. And you're gonna need to make sure you stay above that standard of setting yourself some system. And what really helps me to keep this focus on, make sure I'm responsible on all this, for me personally, I pray a lot. I think that's very important. Think you need something bigger than yourself to be grateful for or be grateful to, so that you kind of can put yourself and your own emotions a little bit out of the question and just make sure that you know that you're really grateful for this opportunity that you have been given by outside circumstances. And make sure you have people around you, because you can do it for them as well. I do a lot of it for my girlfriend because it's very important to me that she's also happy. And if you have no people around you, then I would suggest you get some people around you first, because that is very important. There is absolutely no reason to be rich and successful and all this if you have absolutely no one to share it with, because what that is going to do to you is that it's going to make you glorify money, and it's going to make you think that money is God, or people is God, or influencers is God. None of these things or people are God. Only God is God, and that's the only thing you should glorify and idolize. None of the above. And as long as you have that, as long as you keep praying, as long as you are good to the people around you, and you are grateful and you are humble, I can promise you with my whole heart, you will be fine. From someone coming from not having parents, being alone since I was 15 years old, all this stuff, trust me, if you have God, if you have people around you, if you just be good to people, you will be fine, no matter what. You will find your purpose and you will find your fulfillment in life. As long as you make sure that you have that, everything else that you need in your life will come to you. I promise you that. Now for the future of me or any other entrepreneur, it's kind of really up to them. For me, it's kind of what you are watching right now. I want to start this YouTube channel to kind of have a place where I can help people, where people can come and they can seek guidance or information, or they can come and help other people in the comment section, right? Or even help me if I'm making a video about something that I'm curious about, or something that I'm struggling with, or something like that. I want this to be a place where people can come and find whatever information they need to find about their life, probably more focused about online business, because that's what I do. So you know, if it's how do I find God, or how do I seek signs from God, or you know, what business should I start? Should I start SMA or dropshipping, right? All these things, I will answer all these questions to the best of my extent. I'm nowhere near an expert. I'm nowhere near perfect. But there is some things that I can help with. There's some things that I've experienced and have some sort of experience in. So I can help with some situations. So if you have any questions, make sure to just, you know, let me know and I'll do my very best. That's why this channel is called Les's Library. I'm Les, that's my name, if you guys haven't noticed that. And the library is just, I want this to be a place where people can come and look for information and come and look for help if they need it. And of course, I will continue to grow the brands that we have, and we will expand to other countries and stuff like that. But that's kind of to be expected, right? This is the new thing that I will try to start on the sideline. This is something that I really enjoy doing as well. And it's really interesting to see, like every time we got a subscriber, you know, it's really interesting to see. And I become so happy, you know, even just from, I've made one video before this first video before this one, and it got like 6 subscribers, and that is like amazing. I thought it would get none, no subscribers at all, but it got 6 subscribers, and that is super cool. One of them is my girlfriend though, so 5. But you know what I mean, it's super cool. Thank you so much, guys, if you're watching this video as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, feel free to subscribe, guys, or like the video. And if you want, you can check out this other video that I'm gonna link here in the end, which is actually that first video that I made. I go a little bit deeper into who I am on a little bit deeper level, why I do the things that I do, what exactly I've done with my business, show you some data, show you some screenshots from the Shopify store and all this good stuff. If you want to check that out, you can go check that out. But anyways, guys, I hope you're all well. I will pray for all of you. God bless you all, and make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see this channel grow. I really hope that you will, or if you got some value out of it, that would be amazing. And let me know in the comments. Thank you, guys. Bless you all.